Hey everybody, today is April 6th, 2021, and today's card of the day is Follow Through. Follow Through is a pretty sweet 2-cost upgrade from Rocket Raccoon's deck in Galaxy's Most Wanted, the latest Marvel Champions expansion. It's an aggression card, 2-cost upgrade, skill trait, Hero Interrupt. When your hero's attack, Hero Interrupt. When your hero's attack deals any excess amount of damage, wow, let's just start over. Didn't have my coffee yet. Timeout. Okay, back. When your hero's attack deals any amount of excess damage, there we go. Increase that amount by 1 with some amazing flavor text. That's a little excessive. Very funny. Mental resource, not a big deal. I guess Hulk Ally doesn't like that, but still pretty good. This card is bonkers amazing. So it is an upgrade. It's going to increase your excess damage. So you're going to be looking for things like overkill to add extra damage to those overkill attacks and other things that trigger off of dealing extra damage to an enemy. It increases your punch in a great theme in aggression, which is handling minions and then pushing damage or slowly chipping away at the villain. And I think that this is one of those key cards that's going to be around for a long time in that little deck type. So let's look at some key combos. Obviously, it comes with Rocket. It's going to work with him. He's got an ability, Murdered You, response after you deal excess damage to an enemy, draw 1 card. So if you do like exact damage with an attack, say there's something out there with 3 health and you deal 3 damage, you're not doing 0 excess damage, at least from my understanding of the RRG. You're not going to increase that to 1. But because you're playing as Rocket, you're going to be doing a ton of excess damage to minions in order to trigger your ability, which means you're going to get to follow through quite a bit. There's 3 other heroes currently released that have like innate access to overkill. So I'm looking at Thor, who can use Hammer Throw to deal 8 damage to an enemy and give that attack overkill if he, I guess no matter what, that attack has overkill. So that's pretty sweet, right? You can make that 9 damage, 10 or 11 since this card can stack. Same thing with Pinpoint Strike. You're dealing 7 damage to an enemy. If you're in tiny form, it's going to be 8 with an overkill. So it's basically Hammer Toss, but you don't return Mjolnir to your hand. Now you're making that a up to 11 damage attack if you have 3 follow-throughs out, and that's pretty sweet. And on top of that, Wasp, if you defeat a minion dealing that excess damage, you're also going to get to ping the villain, so you're really increasing that excess damage by 2 just with 1 follow-through. Alright, Hulk Smash, obviously another one, basic attack, gains overkill, so you could be swinging for 13, make it a 16 instead. Seems pretty good. Within Rocket's kit itself, there's another new card, Hand Cannon. I think this is a really sweet new weapon upgrade for aggression. When your hero makes a basic attack, exhaust Hand Cannon and remove 1 charge counter from it. It's a useless counter, so it will cycle through your deck. Your hero gets +2 attack for the attack, and the attack gains overkill. So this means any character out there can now make use of their excess damage. Obviously not as good with characters like Miss Marvel when they have 1 attack, but great for characters like Hawkeye and She-Hulk that already have 3 sort of built-in attack. You can now attack for 5 with overkill. If you get a couple follow-throughs out there, you're attacking for basically 8 with overkill as long as you kill the minion. Seems really, really strong. And I should correct that. It's not 8 as long as you kill the minion. If you kill the minion with the first 4 damage and deal 1 excess, you could get to add up to 3 more if you do damage with follow-through. We'll get to that on the rules slide. Alright, there's some other sources within aggression of things that manipulate excess damage or create it. Obviously, Relentless Assault, it's got Rocket's picture on it from the core set. It's also in his deck. Deal 5 damage to a minion. If you pay with the physical resource, this attack gains overkill. More ways to get that excess damage used. Some of my favorite combos with this are actually Into the Fray and Moment of Triumph, and you're starting to build a really event-heavy aggression deck here if you look at this bottom row. But Into the Fray is deal 6 damage to a minion. For each point of excess damage, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. So if you've got 3 follow-throughs out there, you could deal 6 to a minion. As long as you do 1 point of excess and that's 6, you could remove up to 4 threat from the main scheme. Seems great. And Moment of Triumph. After you attack and defeat an enemy, heal 1 damage for each point of excess damage dealt to that enemy. This is great for healing and staying in hero form, which you kind of need to do as an aggressive character that can't thwart a ton. So what kind of rules mistakes can we make with follow-through? So you need to remember that this only increases excess damage, not damage from like an exact attack. So if there's a character out there with 4 health and I deal 4 damage to them, I've done 0 excess damage. I can't increase that to 1. I think that would be a little too crazy. But if there's a 4 health minion out there and I deal 5 to them, now I could increase it by up to 3 because this card is stackable. You could put 3 copies of Follow Through into play. You just have to remember you have to actually defeat the minion with the original source of damage and then deal excess damage, and then you can increase that excess damage. So it is super stackable. You need to look for overkill sources and things that trigger off of excess damage. But this card definitely sort of completes or rounds out a new deck type that's been coming up in the last cycle, and I think it's really fleshed out now that we've gotten the cards that come in Rocket's kit. So this is one of my favorite aggression cards. I may have spoiled the other one, but I'm not going to cover hand cannon this week. That'll be in a future week. But really great aggression card from Galaxy's Most Wanted. The next 2 days, I'm going to talk about a card from Rocket's signature kit and then a card from Groot's signature kit and how they work with those heroes. So, hope you're enjoying this Galaxy's Most Wanted themed week of Card of the Day, and tune back in tomorrow and we'll go over that Rocket card together. Thanks for tuning in with me.